Yeah. My name is Hummy Man. I'm the creator and director of the program, and I want to welcome all family, friends, and parents, and significant others, et cetera, to our graduation ceremony 2022. When I first started this program almost 30 years ago, I never imagined that it would still be going, let alone become a master's degree program, a fully accredited master's degree program. This is our 11th year of graduating master's students, which I'm proud of, but I'm even more proud of the fact that our students have been so successful. We have a number of composers that have been hired as staff composers of video game companies, composers that we have graduates who've orchestrated major motion pictures. I was very pleased to use 2 of our graduates on a film that I scored last summer, and will forever now use my own students for orchestrating my films, which is great. Also, we have students who are getting co-writing credit on television and film projects, and so we actually have one of the highest success rates of any of the master's programs offered at SFI, so we're very proud of that. And I know many parents in the room are going, "Wait, you're doing music for a living? What kind of craziness is that?" Because I had to go through that, so I'm imagining it's probably still out there. However, you know, your students are joining a very select group of people that are doing quite well in the industry, and we're very proud of that fact. As you could hear from the music that we were playing as you were coming in and just sitting around today, that was all music recorded last week that students all composed Tuesday. Oh God, it was this week. Time goes. The last couple of days have been a blur for me. So I meet with every student individually for an hour and a half, or an hour and 15, or an hour and a half to discuss what they did in the program. I review every single piece of music that was written. It's a pretty big job. Anyway, it's what I do. I love it. So we're going to start the day with a screening of 9 films that the students composed the scores to. It's not even all of this music that we wrote. We actually scored closer to 15 films. We were trying to figure out the exact number, 15 or 16. So we don't even have time to show you all the work that the students produced this year. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to get on, and we'll continue on with the rest of the ceremony.
We live in a time when magnificence is taken for granted. Extraordinary is ordinary. Located at the corner of Connecticut and Grand, just a minute's walk away from Tower Grove Park, sits an upstairs bar that offers a fresh take on familiar favorites. No, the Night Owl may not use exotic ingredients or kitschy presentation. It's not flashy, it's not particularly trendy. But, in this reviewer's honest opinion, there is no better place to enjoy a cocktail with your coworker, your spouse, or your best friend.
Occupado.
You gotta see this.
What are you doing? This is the bathroom.
It's unisex.
What? A bakery?
Not just a bakery. It's exactly what we've been looking for. Apparently they have this crazy talented chef with the best quiche in town. And they're asking us to review it.
Big time, baby.
Straight to the top.
But you could have waited to show me this?
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Out.
Oh, okay. Donna, I'm thinking we have a problem.
I was thinking the same thing.
Cover your mouth like this. I'm thinking someone spit in our rosemary and goat cheese quiche.
Why would somebody do that?
I have no idea why, but that's exactly what I think happened. How are we supposed to review this thing?
Should we eat around it?
Eat around it? I don't want to eat around it.
Neither do I.
We have to do something. My God. The chef.
sorry. The kitchen is off limits to customers.
You spatting our food. We know it was you. Who does that?
So you don't recognize me then? I even keep it in my bookmarks. Luigi's Table is a newcomer to the burgeoning St. Louis brunch scene, but has already become a classic in the minds of many. In much the same way, Luigi's young chef, Julia Newell, has achieved something very few chefs can in this town. Wide appeal with a voracious following. Wide appeal with a voracious following?
That sounds like a cool place. I'd eat there. I don't see the issue.
You're really making us work for this review.
She might attack me. What is your deal?
I used to have a real passion for cooking. But after your review, we never had a minute to enjoy ourselves. Lunch or dinner, it was always a rush. I couldn't take it. So I left.
I promise we were only trying to help.
You want to help? Never review my food ever again.
Listen, I know how it feels to get burnt out. Sometimes eating at a restaurant is the last thing I want to do. But you know what Ronnie and I always try? We go for a drive. Sometimes you get so caught up in your own stuff, you forget to be adventurous, to try new things, to get weird. Let's go for a drive.
Does it work?
Hasn't failed yet.
Let's go.
Been looking for peace, but you still got a piece of my mind. Hold on. Listen. I got a dinner to eat. 2 shoes I gotta put on my feet. I got tasks on a daily basis that I gotta defeat. So many songs that I'm trying to release. Can't compete cause my only big opponent is me. Can't fight a war on 2 fronts, on my back to the beat. I've been raised to whatever, fall to the streets. Instead I'm falling to a sign of a queen. Falling when I'm trying to be free. Moving on, but I keep on trying to redeem what seems to be lost, but I'm still finding things I claim but can't toss. I'm trying to ground myself, was too caught up. No matter what I focus on, you get thought up. I cringe anytime your name get brought up. Yeah, so insane that we split. Every moment that we have is a gift, but still give. Wish I could be focused, but my mind is somewhere else too much. Moving on, but I keep slowing up. Been looking for peace, but you still got a piece of my mind. If you hadn't noticed, I've been holding off on giving up. But I hate to make you wait forever. Been looking for peace, but you still got a piece of my mind. Yeah, okay, peace of mind and peace of time together. Hey, I'm trying to make us last forever. Memories and cruising just to measure what we had and who can make it better. Yeah, suicide, something that I know I probably never do. What's your perfect life without you? Check me out, see. I said please don't say it's okay, cause I ain't feeling that way. I ain't even how to even see in my face. What's the point of lying that nothing I gain? Still I keep trying when I know I can't stay. Saying that it's simple when I know I can't explain. Trying to stay close when I know I need space for myself out there, but still feel the same. Yeah, I still feel the pain, the heartbreaking when I never thought the plan on the heart changing, no saving. Yet I'm still lost, I ain't found a location.
It's perfect. The best ones yet.
Only one way to find out now.
Oh my god.
That's good quiche.
And the the world we live in, food has taken on so much meaning, more than what it once did. A meal is a way of connecting with your culture, showing someone you care, or expressing yourself creatively. But when that creative expression is...
Stop! No more review! I can't let you guys ruin my life again.
This is our job.
That's what we came here for.
But we're friends now. Come on.
Yeah, I like reading books. I mean, who doesn't, right? I was reading an old philosophy book recently that has all the big names and confusing stories and boring theories. And I was just jumping around the page to see if I can find something interesting. And then I found the Sisyphus story. I don't know if you heard it before. If you believe Homer, he was the wisest and prudent of the mortals. Somehow he got punished by the gods. His punishment is to ceaselessly roll a rock to the top of the mountain. Eventually, the roll would fall back to the other side. I don't remember the whole story, but I got the point. Camus is saying that life is meaningless, and we all live in a world which is not different than Sisyphus's. We all do something, make plans for the future, have a little bit of fun, and that's it. He calls Sisyphus an absurd hero because he found meaning in his meaningless life. But the thing is, Camus denies any escape from facing the meaningless. And it is difficult to say, but I was escaping all the time. I haven't been out for a long time. That is basically the idea that pushed me to come here, to make a difference in my life. There is no sun without shadow, and it is essential to know the shadow. That is what I do. I am trying to learn the shadow. I just wanted to go out. Believe me, I've suffered a great many petty miseries of human life, which, if written in a book, might have served to amuse some people, but I had to put them through myself. I must say they were not pleasant experiences, not at all. However, I'm glad I found a way to plug a little bit of courage. You understand that in cases like this, it's surprisingly difficult to know what one can, may, and must do. But wandering, we find our way, and not by sitting still.
Here we are. Oh, no, you don't.
We can still get a refund.
You promised that you wouldn't back out.
Well, people change their minds all the time, which is why they created refunds.
You'll be fine.
Babe, I'm scared.
No, that's not gonna work this time. Come on, you'll be fine. Let's go. Alright, we're good. We got this. Alright?
Oh, why are they making those sounds?
You good? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I won't laugh. Alright?
Okay.
We got this.
We're okay. I got this. I'm so
bad
good.
Bitch.
I'm
You're a
such
bad bitch.
Okay, I'm not a bad bitch. I don't think I can handle any more of this.
You're good. You're fine. We're almost there.
No, I don't want to do this. Take me to the exit now. I'm scared.
Serious? Can you not handle this right now? I mean, we literally just started the maze.
You're the one that thought this was a great idea. You know how scared I get.
Well, I thought maybe you might suck it up for once because we literally can't do anything because you're always scared.
Well, maybe you could try encouraging me to be brave instead of yelling at me.
Hey guys, you can't just stand here. You have to keep moving.
So sorry.
yeah.
Where's the exit? I'm pretty sure that's a fire hazard.
Yeah, we'll keep walking. Thank you, appreciate it. Come on. Now you look crazy.
Oh, I look. You know what, Alex? I know how much you're secretly scared of clowns, so I hope a clown scares you today. Have fun.
See, you're fine.
You have reached the end of your journey. You must each choose a path to walk, but you may only go alone.
Excuse me, alone?
Yes, he'll choose a path and then you'll go in the other.
This is officially the worst thing you've ever made me do.
Have fun.
You're a bad bitch. You're a bad bitch. You're a bad bitch. It's all just really great production value. Nothing to be scared of. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, wow. Oh, that felt nice. Oh, I really needed that. Wow, that really isn't as bad as I thought. You were great. You really had me there. So, oh, is this the way to the exit? Okay. Okay.
Your time's up. There's other people waiting.
Hey, Jeff, this is Tim. We got another crier. Male, about 5'8". You know, I bet that witch doesn't have to deal with this kind of crap.
Son of a witch. Alright, Come on, buddy.
What? No, I don't want to.
You're good. You're alright. Come on. Come on. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Come on.
It's cool.
Let's go. Yeah, come on.
It's not that bad.
No, God. Oh, fucking. Get me out of here, get me out of here.
Yeah, I gotta call my agent.
That was great. I had a fantastic time. I wasn't scared at all. Can you believe that?
Is this one yours?
Yeah. What happened to you?
Will we please just go?
Hi, I want to go in again. That was so fun.
Babe,
Yeah?
too many clowns.
Oh, the clowns got
Yeah.
you. Okay. How about we relax at home with the movie?
Yeah,
Sound good?
that sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
What movie?
It.
Oh, no, please.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
No.
Mhm.
It's a cliche. I think people think like retouching is new, and it is not. Retouch exists since photography was invented. Even in the 40s, the 50s, when they put those images in the magazines and everything, it was airbrushed or brushed up, etched, and everything. It was been part of that fashion world, I guess, of selling something, you know, like a dream or something perfect. I was into graphic arts, like illustrations, and I really like photography as well, and I was not sure which path to take. One day I find this paper about work around photography world, and I find retouching. I did the last class of the time in Paris in '88. And there was like four big labs that I remember. So everybody knew each other, you know, it was really like a big family. Retouchers, they had their own touch. You know, we could see differences between maybe who retouch who. Of course, we used to have like the emulsion that filter out some of the flows, you know. Then you print it, and already, you know, there's a smoothness to it, some sensuality, you know.
Okay, so this photo shoot was for a campaign that was shot by Deborah Tuberville. She passed away a few years ago. She was a great photographer. It was shot in Sicily on this beautiful castle. It was one of these old-fashioned castles. You know, everything was kind of like gold and a little bit gaudy. Anyway, but when we photographed it, me as a retoucher, I was trying to say, listen, we need to get more extra backgrounds, because some of these pictures were shot very close and, you know, couldn't get the whole thing, especially for double page spreads. And so, you know, I was able to put a lot of input on that when I was there. And we were able to also develop the color tone, you know, the palette, which was important, you know, for the client to see at the time, and to see, like, you know, where's the direction and how the photographer wanted to see it, and like the client would be happy with it as well. I used to work for US Color Lab for a long time, and I used to be the manager there, and I set up a photo retouching area, and after, you know, years, I've developed a clientele, and I decided to go on my own, and I partnered up with a friend of mine. His name was Riaz, and we opened up a photo lab called Grad Photo Solutions. It was on 17th Street between 5th and 6th. We invested a lot of money in, you know, processing equipment and a whole bunch of digital equipment and printing, and that's where I started developing my clientele. So here, anyway, here's actually how I kind of began my career. So I have it here for old time's sakes and for memory. And it was actually not much, really, because she looked well at the time. She was very young, and so she didn't want to look overly done. She just wanted very subtle, and she was a little bit overweight, not too much. I mean, for standards, but she didn't want to be thinned down or anything like that. It was to keep it very simple. But you had to take care of a couple of things. And if you look at it, see how it's a little soft and makes her look more kind of like more of a beauty shot, But it wasn't that many comments. It was basically, keep it little things, hair, this, that, the basic notes that, you get from everyone.
I think people hate retouching because they feel like they're being misled, lied to. And I can't really argue with them on that point. To me, the biggest problem with retouching isn't the retouching itself, but it's the secrecy and lack of transparency with it. I didn't know that retouching was even a job. I got into photography while I was studying an illustration, trying to solve my illustration problems with photography. So I have always approached image making and storytelling sort of with an illustrative approach. It's like, what can we do with the power of an image to convey meaning and message, and what are the things we're doing to make sure that message comes through the way that we intended it? There's a retouching boutique called Gloss. It's one of the oldest, most prominent boutique retouching, the tier of the tier. They often refer to themselves as blue chip. I was very lucky to be trained there. I spent 3 years there, learning everything that I could. And while I was there, I would see frequent, repeated comments about skin texture, skin color, certain body shapes and body types, sort of a lot of time at the highest level in photography, the beauty standard is very narrow. And I started questioning, well, why are we making these changes?
By hand, it could be extensive, or it could be more subtle. A lot of time, I have to remove or blend down, the face hair around the chin. It's a common thing to do, especially with sidelights. Okay, on this one, I lighten, soften the under eye. The bag effect is very sharp. A little scar here. Some blemishes on the chin, and that's about it. I retouch the elbow and soften the wrinkles on the curve here. I retouch, little things here and there on the negative and especially on the hairline, and the stretch mark around here. There's not much to do actually on this image, but I work on the knees, make them better, and I guess I've been part of making Giselle legs so famous,
And retouching is not always about, making the girl thinner and all that. It's about maybe reshaping the outfit to fit her better, and it gives her a little bit more of a fullness. and that kind of thing. So you see, for example, like here, the chest looked like they were coming out from, it was too tight. So basically, we had to bring the material more in and just kind of like make it look like it's more fitted versus her like her cleavage popping right out of the swimsuit. And then her legs, you see, we made her a little wider so you could have more of a curve because she was a little bit too skinny. And, and then basically balancing the skin tones all around so you could have a more of all the same color from top to bottom. And color correcting the water a little bit because it was a little bit more muddier.
So how it works is you have the photo shoot, you take the pictures on set, the creative vision is set. After the photos are taken, whoever is involved decides what the final edit is going to be, selects the images from the photo shoot that are going to be passed on to post-production, and then they mark them up, which can be physical notations on a piece of paper, or it can be, more often than not, it's a PDF. And more often than not, the comments are, what I would consider fairly standard. A hair will have shown up in a shot that isn't favoring the overall composition. It really, most of the time, the markups are about how do we make this picture better. Unfortunately, sometimes that gets mixed up with our internal biases about how people should look. Very often, those biases involve, have racial implications, expecting people to be smaller than they are, reducing skin texture or fine lines that are normal. And I think that those kinds of comments they're not in service of the greater image.
I remember when Photoshop came out and it was still very expensive and time-consuming process. In the mid-90s to the early 2000s, it's like it became the thing. Over time, all those little, basic retouching things you had to do, like, clean something in the background, it'd be outsourced, to India, Indonesia. I started to lose my clients one by one because they switched to the digital, I think in the hand retouch days, you were really trusted in what you do, so the photographer were very attentive and cautious on the shoot. Everybody from the makeup artist, the hair, the stylist, everybody was try to get as perfect for the pictures because, after eventually, you do a bit of printing and a bit of hand retouch and that's it. It looks beautiful. Now, I think with the digital, the thing is that people get carried away because you could do more, they felt like they had to do more, and sometimes too much.
Usually the photographer drives the vision, but there's certain actresses, celebrities that want to have a certain look, and they're very particular, and they would definitely put their input, but not me directly with me. They'll have someone in the middle, their agent or their assistant, and we have that dialogue. But so the hard part for me is that sometimes the photographer wants it a certain way. Oh, make her more skinnier. And the other one says, no, she says, I look too skinny. I want to go a little bit more back. So it's always this balance between the client and the photographer, and you always got to find the middle point. I have two daughters, right, and my wife, and they always looking at these images, and they even though they know I'm a retoucher, right, they look at these images like, oh, look how pretty it is. I'm like, half of that is fake, it's because, not that it's fake, it captures the overall essence of the person, right, but it's so, every little detail's, taken care of so it looks perfect.
The whole process doesn't have any inherent virtue or vice, the people, the individual artists who are doing the work really believe in the fun of fashion, of the storytelling of fashion, of hair and makeup, of how you can express who you are through regalia and like birds, but it gets so convoluted through the need to sell, and the advertising machine really has honed in on anti-perfection, pointing out your flaws to get you to buy their stuff.
As soon as I finish the job, I write it down and figure out the number, and then I give it to my wife to bill it out. Okay. So this is this month. So this is a good month. Not too bad.
I think that why I'm having so much space in my career now and why my point of view of ethical retouching is growing is because more women are getting access to how these images are created, what the perspective is. For a long time, the only acceptable plus-size body was an hourglass figure. And that's changing now. I think social media has a lot to do with changing who is allowed to be a model.
I'd like to tell you a story. A story about a young boy. A boy not so different from you or I. A boy who loved to dream. Dream of worlds with monsters and creatures. One day, after the sudden abandonment of his father, he desperately wished for a way to escape his world. A wish that would come to be true. From the base of a whittling tree, a world of beauty awaited him. Eager to explore, the boy began to wander.
Hello?
However, as night began to fall, the forest turned dark and cold. Without a light to guide him through the shadow, he became lost.
Is anyone out there?
But the boy was not alone, for a shepherd of the forest had been awakened by his calls. The shepherd offered to guide him back to his world, and through their journey, a friendship was born.
Why are you telling me this, Grindel? I've heard this story so many times.
This was the first story I told you, long ago when we first met. Do you remember?
Of course I do. But it doesn't have an ending.
All good endings come with time. Stephen, I'll be leaving here tonight.
What?
A long time ago, I promised to look after you until you could fly on your own. The time has now come. I must return to my world now.
Wait. You can't. You just can't.
I'm afraid this is where we must part. But do not